everybody. Welcome to Tea Time. I am so glad you're joining me tonight. I appreciate everyone tuning in every Monday night at 8 o'clock. It is January. It's not January. Hello. It's February. It is February. February 6th. It is the month of love, people. I'm going to talk about my weekend really quick and then get to my guest. So, all right. So, a lot of us were freezing our tootsies off this weekend, okay? Friday night, I basically hibernated. I stayed in. I could have went out and, did a couple things, but I really decided just to stay in. But Saturday night, I decided to have a date with myself. I figured I'm going to take myself out to dinner, myself out to a show, and maybe get lucky with myself later on that night. I was very excited. So I did. I went to Mulberry Street for dinner. And then I went up the block to Argyle Theater to see my friends, Dave Revels with the Persuasions. There they are. Oh boy, did they kick butt. They were freaking amazing. And then Tanisha Gary did an amazing job singing all Aretha Franklin. Lord, let me tell you something. It was a great show. It was so much fun. And then we got to hang out after the show. I got to see Dave and I got to see Tanisha. And it was just wonderful. Really, really nice night out with myself. It was great. And, if you ever get a chance to go see Dave Revels or Tanisha in a Motown show, it's definitely worth the trip. And it was 4 degrees Saturday morning. So, it warmed up on Sunday. Sunday was laundry day. I do laundry, so we have clean underwear for the week. And I wasn't too sure what I was going to do on Sunday because there's no football this week, but we're getting ready for the Super Bowl. And Cousin's Maine Lobster, I don't know if any of you saw them on Shark Tank, but they were on Shark Tank. They're known for their Maine lobster rolls, and they have trucks that go all over Long Island, and they happen to be in Wantaw. And I was like, I'm hitting the truck. I got a lobster roll. Let me tell you something, was not disappointed. It was sweet. It was delicious. I got the lobster roll. So if you go on their Facebook page and see where their truck is, go pick something up, whether it's a lobster bisque or whatever. Go pick it up. It was great. All right, so let me get to my guest because I'm so excited. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a comedian, he's a friend of mine. Chris Monty's here.
Yay, thank you for having me.
How are you? I'm so excited you're here. This has been in the works a long time.
I know, you've been asking me for like 4 years now, 3 years. And I'm like,
this is true, you busy man.
I'm too busy. No, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you made it.
Long overdue.
It is. So your legal full name is?
My legal full name?
Christopher
Michael Montroni. If you want to throw in my baptism name, Francis.
Montroni, but
Yeah.
It is Montroni.
Yeah.
Nice Irish boy.
Yeah. And Francis was the baptism name. That was my confirmation. My confirmation.
And we just cut it short to Chris Monty.
Chris Monty,
I like it. Do you know what the show's called tonight? Because I title every show.
The Full Monty.
The Full Monty.
Come on.
That's it.
Well, when I started, I got into a comedy team with my buddy Mark Lund. He used to be one of the owners at Governor's.
Yeah.
His real name is Mark Lundrigan. Okay. So we became a comedy team, and instead of being Montroni and Lundrigan, we just decided to go Monty and Lund.
And
it sounded better.
Yeah.
And then once we stopped doing the team, everybody already knew me as Chris Monty, so I just kept it.
So it is the month of love. So I have two things for you. One is a piece of chocolate.
Oh, thank you.
In a heart.
My favorite.
Yes. And I am known to give out heart stickers. And we're going to put it right here.
There we go.
And now he has a heart on. Get it? Get it?
Boom, boom.
Dun, 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 dun. There you go. That's
Thank
what
you.
I do for the month of February.
Thank you.
So listen, you're originally from Elmont.
I was born in Elmont. Yes. Not bragging.
And you went to Zewanica High School.
Zewanica, what it is?
Zewanica.
Zewanica. It's a Native American name.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And
I feel like I'm on This Is Your Life.
This is your life. This is your life. Now, what I want to know is what kind of kid were you in high school? Were you funny? Were you funny in school, or were you involved in, school plays, or were you the quiet kid that
I was funny with my friends.
Okay.
I was quiet in class. I was bad. I hung out with the bad kids.
Really?
Yeah, we used to cut out and go to the racetrack all the time, never go to school. Never brought a book home in 4 years of high school. My mother was like, I don't know how you're passing. I never see you doing homework.
Oh my God.
But I used to just do my all my schoolwork, like in my free period, I would do my homework at home so I can cut out early and go to the racetrack with my buddies and then come home and just hang out with my friends. So
Really?
I just kind of got by. Like I was smart enough to just not study and get by. I could have done so much better if I studied, but
If you applied yourself.
if I applied myself, and I didn't get involved in theater or drama or anything like that.
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a comedian.
Sports?
When I was 7, I wanted to be a comedian.
When you were 7 years
Yep.
old?
You know who I used to watch? Red
Who?
Skelton.
I was just going to ask you.
Remember Red Skelton?
Yes, I do.
So Red Skelton, when I was about 7 or 8 years old in the late 70s, Red Skelton was performing again. He was like in his late 60s, early 70s.
Yes.
He was doing specials on TV.
Yes, he was.
And we could watch him on a Saturday night because my parents knew it was clean comedy. They knew
Right,
they grew up at
right,
Red Skelton.
right, yes.
So I fell in love with what he did, and then I fell in love with Johnny Carson, and I used to beg my mother to let me stay
stay
up.
up.
Can I just watch the monologue? Let me watch the
Yeah,
monologue.
yeah.
And so I always wanted to be a comedian. But then when I got into school, I was like too cool to be like in drama.
Right,
so
right.
I just kind of hung out with the bad kids, and who I'm still friends with all of them now. They're all successful people. They all have their own.
Thank God.
They all have
You're
their
not
own,
visiting them behind bars.
No,
That's
they all
a
have
good thing.
construction companies, plumbing companies. They all
Look
they all
at
hook me up
that.
now. When I need something, they come
That's
help me out. So,
good.
but so that's what I did, and I just kind of skated through school, and then.
And then what did you do after high school?
I worked a couple of meaningless jobs for like 5 years, and
yeah.
then when I was 25, I started doing stand-up.
That was it.
I finally was just like, you know what? I hate working. Let me. I do. I hate working. Let me just try this stand-up thing. And
So 25 years old, you say, I'm going to try stand-up. Where was the first time you did stand-up?
well, I did it at Governors in Levittown because Peter Bales had it was the second year of his
Of
stand-up
the Stand-Up University.
And so
Wow.
in 1998, I took a class with Peter Bales and Rich Walker and Steve
Yes,
Lazarus.
yes.
And our graduation show was, that was my first show in a comedy club.
Right.
But I was doing open mics at like bars and stuff and
Okay.
coffee shops,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
were terrible because
Yeah.
I didn't have any structure then. I didn't
Right,
know,
right.
how to write a joke.
Yeah.
I was just talking about my life.
Yeah.
So they kind of structured, what they do.
Yeah.
And they're great.
And they've had many successful graduates.
Many successful graduates,
Yeah.
and I always look at Peter Bales to this day as like my mentor.
Yeah.
If I have a joke or something,
Yeah.
a problem in the business, he'll be always the guy I ask for.
Yeah.
And Rich Walker, I'm very good friends with him.
Yeah.
Too.
They're
And
great.
Steve, but he's in Florida now. So.
Yeah, Steve's in Florida now. I know. Steve did a little stint with me with Bat Boy, and there was something that actually I wrote, and he actually added something to it that
He's a
made
good
it
joke
funnier.
writer.
He is.
Yeah.
He really is. He's amazing. So 25 years old, you're doing stand-up, you take the class, and you're like, this is it. This is what I
So
want to do.
I did the graduation show, which is loaded with family and friends.
Yes.
You
yes,
kill.
Yes.
The following week, I go
No
to
family or friends.
I go to an open mic at a coffee house.
Yeah.
I'm the only comedian there. They're all doing poetry and singing.
Right,
And I
right.
go, hey, can I just do 5 minutes? I'm a comic. And the guy goes, sure. I'll put you on the list. He puts me on a list, and in between, I sit around, have 2 cups of coffee, wait to go on. I go on and bomb because they're not there for comedy,
No, no,
And I'm going,
exactly.
I'm saying like at the time, I'm like, yeah, I'm 26 and I live with my mother. That's my whole act, and they're just staring at me like, who is this idiot? Is he serious? So
God.
it brought me right back down to earth after killing at Governors,
That's hysterical. We have, hello, Bruno and Ann and Giuseppe's watching. Thank you for watching the show. I appreciate it. Chris Monty is an actor. He's a writer. He's a comedian. Obviously, I started by going to the Learning Annex in Manhattan. My girlfriends gave me classes,
Right.
and after 3 weeks, you had a performance stand up in New York, and you have to write 5 minutes of material, which is not easy to do.
Not when you're new, yeah.
No. So what did you hone in on when you first started writing?
Autobiographical.
Being Italian,
Yeah, autobiographical, living at home,
Your
being in my late
family.
20s, not married, living at home, being the second boy where the first boy is Jesus. and I'm the second boy.
Yes.
I talked about I talked about all kinds of stuff. I talked about being single, whatever was
Yeah,
going on in my
yeah.
life at that time,
Yeah.
I had a lot of bits about my grandmother because I was close with both my grandmothers, but my one grandmother I used to do, want to hear a joke I used to do?
Yeah.
And I still will do it to this day.
As long as it's clean, because we're on cable on
No, it's clean.
Saturdays.
It's clean. I used to do a joke about, and Peter Bales helped me with this.
Yeah.
I said my grandmother loved to watch the baseball games and the football games with me. And so if you haven't sat with a 92-year-old woman and watched a sporting event, it's something you got to try. So my grandmother was sitting there watching the Mets, and they got a home run. And I'm like, we got a home run. And she's like, we got a home run. And then they showed the replay, and she goes, we got another one. And then they showed the replay in slow motion, and she goes, "These guys aren't even trying."
That's
So it was a
funny.
cute joke. That was one
Yeah.
of my first jokes in my act when I was
That's
new.
great. It's sweet. It's
Yeah,
sweet.
so that's what you write about. You write about what's going on.
Yeah,
So and when I see a
exactly.
comic go on stage now that's 21 years old, I know it's going to be talking about touching himself and being single and all the
Right,
stuff that you go
right.
through when you're 21, because that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
So
And it evolves. Obviously, it evolves.
it evolves. Now I talk about marriage and
You talk about marriage
kids.
and kids, and so in 2003, you actually studied sitcom auditioning.
Oh my God, where did you find all this? I'm getting creeped out. I got to unplug my internet connection.
Tell me about that. Where'd you do that?
Joanna Bexon, who is TGA, the true goddess of acting. She was a great teacher. I think she left the teaching industry now and she's acting herself, but she taught for years. She taught Ray Romano, Kevin James, Dave Chappelle, everybody, you name it, she taught them. Kim Cattrall from
Yes.
Sex and the City. She's an acting coach for all these great actors and
Right.
comedians. So she had a class in New York City. And in that class, the sitcom workshop, I was with my good pal Joe Starr.
Yes, yes.
I was with my friend Joe Bronzi, comedians. We all took it together, and it was a great
That's
learning
fun
experience.
when you take it with your friends,
Yeah,
your friends are there and you bounce off of each other.
And we were serious about it too, and we were, it would help you on auditions when you were going on auditions.
Yeah, and that's big. It's big. It's key.
It's big. When you go in cold and you don't know what you're doing, you could just make so many mistakes, and right away they might like you, but they go, "Oh, this girl has no experience."
Yeah, yeah.
So when you have that confidence that Joanna would instill in us,
Right.
you just go in and you go, "I got this." You're doing a show. That's how
Yeah,
you got to
that's
look at
what
it.
it
You're
is.
doing a
Yeah.
3-minute performance,
Yeah,
and you give your best.
absolutely. And then in 2004-05, you studied the Meisner.
Meisner. That was with
technique.
Joanna Bexon as well. So that was a
Yes.
2-year course, and it was the first year was twice a week, and it was tough because I was living in Manhattan at the time.
Oh, are you?
And I was, struggling to pay rent, not making a lot of money in comedy.
Yeah.
And it was like,
So what were you doing to subsidize that?
nothing. I was dating a girl that had money. My mother taught me well.
That's great.
So yeah, I was
Oh
living
my
in an apartment
gosh.
with this girlfriend of mine at the time, and she was making good money, and she didn't. She said, if you do the cooking and the cleaning and pay for the laundry and pay for the groceries, I'll pay the rent.
Okay.
So that was our deal. So
All right. It worked.
It worked. So
For the time,
For
yeah,
the
it
time,
worked.
but it still was a struggle because
Yeah.
back then I might have been making $200 or $300 a weekend as a comic.
Yeah.
And I was a feature act. I wasn't closing, headlining.
Right.
And it was $300 a month for the class. And
Yeah,
But you know
yeah.
what? You made it work. You lived on ramen noodles, and you did what you had to do, and it was fun because
Yeah.
you were with all these people your own age and a little bit younger, and were eager to be actors. And you know how it is and you live in the city,
Yeah.
and it's your young life.
Yeah.
And now it's like I look back and I'm like, oh God, I was so. I know how to stretch $1.
I know.
Now I'm
and
like
you
broken
look-
one day.
And you look back and you're like, and you talk about this in your act, how things change when you're 25 and 45, but you look back and you go, wow, I traveled that far to do 10 minutes, and I by myself, as a woman, it's
I'd
a
get
little
in my
different 'cause
car
I
and go to Pennsylvania, drive 4 hours away, and then sometimes come
exactly.
back the same
Yeah,
night.
the same night.
8 hours
Yeah,
of driving
it's
for
crazy. I mean, I did-
$450 and a sandwich.
I mean, there were gigs that I did when I didn't tour, but I went out to LA. I did some shows in LA, and I did some shows down in Florida, and they were so much fun. And the thing is, when you're young and
you're
single,
hungry.
yeah, exactly. When
Yeah.
you're young and you're single and you're able to do it, great. But as you get older,
No.
it's harder.
Now it's like I got God bless them. I got so many friends. They run shows in the city, and like, yeah, you want to pop in Tuesday night and do a spot for $25?
Right,
I'm like,
right.
no.
No.
I just came back.
Those days are over.
I just came back from Pittsburgh, 4 days in Pittsburgh. I go, I just want to lay on my couch and watch the Islander game or something and just chill out and drink a glass of wine with my wife.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Listen, we're gonna do a lot of laughing during this show, so we're gonna go to my first break. Don't go away, please. More with Chris Monty when we come back.
Stick around.
Well, hi there, Teresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Tea Time on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Teresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me tonight. I have actor, writer, comedian, my friend Chris Monty's here. This has been in the making for a long time. We just saw each other recently. We met years ago.
We met years ago,
at Governor's, but we were just at their
The holiday party.
And it's always fun seeing everybody.
Oh, it's great. It's because you don't get to work with, all the headliners. We don't get to work with each other. So when they have a night where, any of the comedy clubs, I used to go to the one at Gotham, and you just see people you don't see, and it's nice to just chill out. And before you know it, it's like, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
It's a Monday night. I got to go to bed.
So we're talking about how you always want to do stand-up, and how you took classes, and you did the class, the stand-up university class with Peter and Rich and Steve, and I wanted to know because later on, obviously, you're building this amazing comedy career, and you got to open for Joan Rivers and B.B. King. How did that happen? Tell me about that.
I'll tell you the Joan story first.
Yeah,
a buddy of mine calls me. Joan, it was 3 years where I would work with her.
Amazing.
Not all the time, but periodically in a 3-year period.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine calls me from Florida. There's a comic named Jeff Snyder. If he's watching, hello, Jeff. Remember Jeff Snyder? He's on Long Island.
Yeah.
So he moved to Florida a couple years back, and he opened up an agency. And he calls me and he goes, I'm not doing comedy anymore. I'm booking comics now. I got this opportunity to book the opening act for Joan Rivers in Connecticut. But I got to submit 5 different comics. Do you want to be one of the comedians? And I said, sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a clean, 10-minute clip? Yeah, I sent it to him. So she picks me. I work with her at the Palace Theater in Connecticut, in Stamford, Connecticut, and it goes great. And all of a sudden, they started calling me periodically. If she was between Vermont and New Jersey, she would call me, hey, we got a gig here, we got a gig there, you want to do it, you want to do it. So over the course of 3 years, I've done maybe a dozen shows with her.
Nice.
And she was great. She was really great.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's very generous.
Very down to earth. I can't tell you off the air, I'll tell you a very funny story, but it's not clean. But she had a mouth on her.
I know she did. Are you kidding? I know
she was great, though.
Yeah.
And then the B.B. King thing was, so we were just talking about Omnipop on the break.
Yep.
So Omnipop, Tom and Genio, if he's watching, hello. They call me. I'm working McGuire's, right? A couple of years ago. I'm working McGuire's for the weekend in Bohemia, and Tom calls me on Thursday, and he goes, any chance you can get out of your Friday night McGuire's spot? And I said, why? He goes, I got a good opportunity for you, but if you can't do it, you can't do it. I said, well, what is it?
Yeah.
He goes, the opening band for B.B. King at the Paramount in Huntington, which just opened.
Yes.
They crapped out, and they wanted to know if I could find an act to open up. Do you want to open up? You do a half hour in front of the B.B. King and his band. I said, let me call the club. So I called Governor's. I said, any chance I can keep the Saturday but get out of the Friday night? They said, go, do it. We'll get somebody to cover you. I think they got Chris Roach to cover me.
Yeah.
And I opened up for B.B. King, and that was a thrill, too. That was just fantastic. 2,000 people. It was just phenomenal.
Nice.
So, and that's it. They were both. I got to meet BB, and I got to meet. We're meeting, hang out with Joan Rivers.
It's amazing.
And both very, very wonderful people.
Yeah, and you've headlined in Atlantic City and Vegas and Reno.
Borgata.
You're all over the place.
All over the place.
All over. Tell me, in 2013, you did something called The Business of Comedy?
Oh, that was a documentary. That was produced by my good friend Gary Licker, and I forget his partner's name, forgive me. But you can actually check that out on YouTube, The Business of Comedy. It aired on PBS.
Yes.
It aired on I think it was January 1st.
2013.
2013. It aired as the clock turned the new year. It aired at midnight on PBS, and then they aired it a few more times that month.
Cool.
And I think he got nominated for an award, but that was a documentary about the business side behind the stand-up and the art form of it. But what do you do to make a living, and how do you get booked, and do you have an agent, and how much does the agent take, and all that. From all different comics are in it. There's some great people. George Wallace was in it. There's great comics in it. So you can check that out. That's actually The Business of Comedy. I think it streams on YouTube, so you can check out the documentary.
That's good to know. And then 2015, you did Gotham Comedy Live. And it says it was on
Access.
Access
On
Channel.
Access Channel. That was a great experience. Thanks to Chris Mazzilli. He put me on the show.
Yeah.
And that's a live comedy show. So
Yeah,
you basically,
yeah.
you got like 9 minutes.
Right.
And you can't rehearse it.
But this is the thing. It's like, you know, you and I who do some time. I don't headline. I could feature. I don't have an hour yet.
Right.
I mean, you know, but I could feature. I could do like
Right.
30, 35 pushing.
Yeah,
40.
yeah. That's all you need
But
to
it's
do.
like, but how do you decide what 9 minutes to do?
So I rehearsed
That's
that
the
9 minutes.
thing.
I banged out the 9 minutes in clubs for like 2 weeks before. I would go to clubs and go, can I just do, I'd go to Governor's, all 3 clubs on a Thursday and a Sunday. I'm just doing a 9-minute spot and I'm doing this set and that's it. Yeah, you could do it. They put me up.
Right.
And I did it. And you know what? I'm experienced enough that with the live crowd, when they give you the 1-minute wind down, you pretty much know what a minute is
Yes,
now.
you
know?
do. You do.
Listen, I could say hello for 9 minutes before I get into the crux of my act.
I know.
But you just put together the jokes, and that's also on YouTube. You can check that out, that 9-minute clip.
And I got to give a shout out to my girl Kathy Ladman, who I've had on the show. She just did the Tonight Show for the 10th time.
Oh, wow.
And I'm
Congratulations.
joking around to her, and I'm like, how do you decide what to wear? Because I'd be freaking out, like, what am I going to wear? But again, you're doing what? 4 minutes, maybe? And
yeah.
it's like, how do you know what to pick out
But
of
that
all
at
your
least you
stuff?
go to the theater and rehearse it during the day with the crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you, all right, good, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
You know, so, but with laughter, it changes the timing,
That's
you know?
the whole thing. That's the whole thing. And then you get the light, and you're like, okay, all right, well, now
That's
I got
my wife's dream. She's like, do you think Jimmy Fallon will have you on? I'm like, maybe. Jimmy, check me out.
Why not? I mean, listen, you don't know unless you don't try.
That's it.
That's the bottom line.
I
and
know.
my wise Italian father always says, you never know, and it's always good to ask because all a person can say
Always
is no.
ask.
So you know what? Why don't we do that for 2023? Why don't we submit something?
Jimmy Fallon, I'm coming, baby.
Listen, I got the connection.
There you
we'll
go.
set it up. We'll set it
We'll
up.
set it up.
You never know. You never know.
Now my wife's going to ask me, because she's watching at home, that's all she's going to ask me, you think she's really going to get you on Jimmy Fallon?
Listen,
No,
listen. We're going to try, but we could try, right? We could try. We could definitely try. I mean, I've had some friends on there, so I mean, if they got on, we could get on. That's
Why
what I'm
not?
saying. You did a comedy special on Amazon Prime.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen?
That's still on Amazon Prime. So if you got Prime, check that out. I get 6 cents for every view. But you got to watch the whole 52 minutes, so I don't get the
Oh
6
my God,
cents.
it's so
And I got
great.
babies to feed, so please watch the whole 52 minutes.
Listen, you know what's nice about you, Chris, is that you're old school in the sense that you go on stage, you look sharp.
I try to wear
You
suits
wear
all
a
the time,
tie.
you know. And yeah.
You look like a gentleman. All right.
Sinatra used to say, dress better than your audience.
You bring back,
You know?
bringing back like the Rat Pack look,
Yeah.
Rat Pack look, which I like. But
what I like.
and you talk about stuff from back in the day, and it's relatable,
Mm-hmm.
and because my mother's like, you can do comedy and you can be funny, and you don't have to sound like a truck driver and
You
curse.
don't. And I do, listen, there are some four-letter words in my nightclub act, but
There's a couple, but-
nothing offensive and
No,
nothing
but you've
vulgar.
done Dry Bar.
Yeah,
And
that's my next special, yeah.
You've done Dry Bar. And is it called Don't Talk to Me, or is it Just Be Happy?
No,
Which
it's
one is
Just
it?
Be Happy. They just
Okay, it
quoted
is.
one of my bits
All right,
for
okay,
for
I wasn't sure
posting.
which one they were doing.
Yeah, it's called Just
But
Be
with
Happy. That's
Dry-
on YouTube also, and it's got like 1 million views, so
There
check
you
it out.
go. YouTube, and again, what Dry Bar is it's doing comedy and being very clean.
Squeaky clean.
Yeah,
You're working
squeaky
in front
clean.
of an audience of 100% Mormons
In Utah.
in Utah.
Yes.
Provo, Utah. It's a great experience,
Yes,
though.
it is.
They really
It is.
treat you very nice.
First of all, I watch your comedy and I crack up.
Oh, thank
I mean,
you.
I love
You're the one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I love your vegan bit. Okay.
Oh, wow, that's old. I haven't
love
done
the
that in a while.
time. I love the timeout.
Thank you.
I love the guest versus customer.
Oh.
It's just hysterical.
Thank
I mean, so
you.
definitely check it out.
Check
Go
it
to
out.
YouTube, check out.
And check
Chris
out Dry
Monty.
Bar if you want squeaky clean. Or
Yeah,
check out
yeah.
Amazon Prime is like PG-13.
But it just goes to show that you can be funny and not,
You don't have to say
curse. I mean,
four-letter
I'm
words
not,
every
listen,
other word.
I normally do not curse during my show. I do
Right.
not curse, but I'm a little risque.
Right. I
You
curse
know?
sometimes only because I have little children at home and I can't say four-letter words.
Right.
So sometimes when I'm on like stage, it's like therapy for me. And so maybe sometimes
It's practicing.
an F or an S
Right.
slips
If
out
you
of my
say
mouth.
sugar, my mother's like, say sugar.
I say sugar now a lot in
Or
front of my kids.
Frig.
I'm like,
or
oh, sugar.
Whatever.
Fudge.
All right, let's talk about your writing a little bit.
My
'Cause
writing.
You got into, obviously you write comedy, but you also were part of an off-Broadway original award-nominated play.
Shut Up, Sit Down, and Eat.
That's right, that you co-wrote. Shut Up, Sit Down, and Eat.
Yep.
That was with Joe, right?
Joe
You did that with
Moffa,
Joe.
Tina Georgi, and my good friend, Mr. Eric Tartaglione.
Yes.
We wrote that together. It took about a year and a half for us to write it.
Yeah.
We met once a week, religiously.
You were committed.
Every Tuesday for about a year and a half. And then in that year and a half, when we had it, we did about I'm guessing 4 to 6 months of rehearsing it.
Wow.
And then to test it out, we did it at the Brokerage in Belmore.
Right.
On a Sunday afternoon at like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
We had about 90 people show up to see it. It was a big hit, and then we refined it, and then once we toured it around like little places, catering halls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we found a home in New York. We were at the I forget the.
Well,
place.
you were running it at the Theater Center in New York City.
We were at the Snapple Theater in New York
Okay,
City
okay.
on Broadway.
Okay.
But that's not a Broadway theater technically because it's only 200 and something seats. But before that we were downtown.
Okay.
At something Playhouse. I forget the name of the theater now. But it was on McDougal
How
Street.
long did it actually run? How long were you actually doing it?
Oh, that's a good guess. I would guess maybe 3 years.
Wow.
It was a total of like 5 years. We were all in it together.
It's a nice run.
It was a nice run. Between writing it and then performing it is about 5 years.
And did it stop because of COVID?
No, it stopped because we just kind of got it's like a band.
All right.
Everybody's got their own.
Listen to me. I totally understand that.
And now Joe moved and Tina moved.
Yes.
And we're too old to play the parts, I'll be honest with you, because I was playing a 39-year-old guy that still lived with his mother in the play. And, now
Right,
I'm an
right.
older guy that's
Now
got
you can't play that.
Yeah, so, but it was really good. And it was a great experience. And
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun times.
There's nothing like live theater.
Nothing like it.
There just isn't.
And there's mess ups and it happens and you just go through them.
Yeah,
And,
and you just roll with it.
That's it. I've done theater. I was in
and
Biloxi
that's when
Blues.
improv comes in handy.
That's when improv. And you're lucky you got 4 comedians on stage.
Yes.
Not just actors, but comedians as well.
Correct.
And we can cover each other.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking about covering each other, I have to go to my next commercial and cover my next commercial. So stay right there. More with Chris Monty when we come back. Don't go away.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
How you doing? It's Sal the Voice Valentinetti. Why are you watching me? You should be watching Teresa Canastraci Tea Time with Teresa Canastraci Farrell. And make sure you follow Teresa on Facebook. Tea Time with Teresa Canastraci Farrell. We'll see you there.
I love the way you say my name. I love.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I am so excited. Listen, I gotta say a couple of things. March 4th, I am performing in the Giggle Room at Governor's Comedy Club. So get your tickets. And the week after, I'll be performing there as well on March 11th. So March 4th, March 11th, Giggle Room, right here, Teresa Farrell at Governor's.
I'm going to plug mine later. I'm at the Giggle Room February 19th.
Good, February 19th.
The Giggle Room. Hershey and the Keegs.
Yes, and also, if you go to www.chrismontylive.com, which is his website, all his upcoming shows are there, and you are like booked until
And all the links, you
July.
can click on the buy ticket links. It takes you to the websites to buy tickets.
Yeah. And then just a shout out, I'll make it official tonight, and then eventually we'll put up a flyer. But Thursday, March 30th, Murdered by the Mob, which is the longest running murder mystery show in Manhattan, is coming to Queens. We're bringing it to Bayside, my hometown, Bourbon Street. So eventually, when I know the time and everything else, we'll put
That's just
that
a
up.
one-time thing?
Well, we're hoping if it goes.
I would love to come see it, but I'm working at
Let me
night.
tell you something. If it goes over well, we're hoping it'll be the Queen's home base, and like maybe we could be there like every 4 to 6 weeks.
That'd be great. My wife and I would love to
My
come.
mother's upset too because she's in West Palm right now, and she's not going to be able to.
I'm
come see
working
it
that
either.
night, Ed.
Oh, you're
But-
working. He's got to make some fuzzles.
gotta
You know, his
make the
wife is a
clams.
school teacher, so you know.
And she teaches in Bayside.
And she does teach it. Where does she teach in Bayside?
She's going to kill me if I get it wrong. I think IS 125 she teaches at. It's like Northern Boulevard. I know it's Northern
Okay, well,
Boulevard.
I didn't go to that. I went to PS 31. I'm just letting her know because what's her first name?
Kristen.
Kristen. I went to PS 31. Then I went to Marie Curie 158, and then I went to Benjamin and Cardozo.
She's from Belrose, though, my wife.
Okay,
She didn't
all
grow
right.
up there.
I'm just letting you know.
She just teaches there now.
Yeah, it was District 26. Now
Yeah.
they changed everything. So listen, we're talking to Chris. He's a writer. He's an actor. He's a comedian, and he got into showbiz. Not only comedy and stand-up, but he got into acting. And back in 2008, you did Street of the Dead.
Oh, that's Joe Pontillo,
Yes, Joe Pontillo.
who we just saw at the Christmas party.
Yes, we did. And I've worked with Joe a couple of times. I've done a couple of his shows at his sister's place. Remember his sister had the coffee?
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
coffee
He never
place?
booked me. But
He never
anyway.
booked you because he can't afford you. He can't afford you. But Street of the Dead. Yeah.
It's a farce comedy, dark comedy. I don't even remember. I think I played a cop.
It's all a blur.
It is a blur. That was
It's
so
all a
long
blur.
ago.
In 2008, you moved on to Constance, which was a short, and you played Carla.
That was with my good friend Mark Riccadonna.
I love
and,
Mark.
yeah.
Mark hopefully is coming on the show.
Mark Riccadonna and I think Mark Harris, they produced that and filmed it.
Gotta send this
And
to Mark.
This girl I was dating at the time, Rebecca Cesney, was the co-star. She
Okay.
played the love interest of Riccadonna, and I played Riccadonna's gangster brother who owned like a strip club.
Really? Okay.
It was like an 8-minute short. Very good film though, done very well. You could probably find that on YouTube.
2009, Evie? It was another short.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
All right, next.
Evie.
All right, 2014, Hank is Evil, the movie.
That's also-
You played Hank's lawyer.
Yeah, that's also Joe Pontillo.
I know. He made a few.
He made quite a few.
And then,
all quality.
You got to start somewhere, people. 2015, you did Umbrellas Kill.
That's Chris Roach. That was a great production. And we had a great big premiere for that at Theater 3 in Port Jefferson.
And you played a victim.
I played a victim who got hit with an umbrella.
Oh my God, this is great. Okay, now this brings us to 2015, Bobby. You did Paul Blart.
Mall Cop 2.
Mall Cop 2.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, there he is. There you are with Kevin
Yep.
James. And you played the Segway employee. Is that
Yeah,
what you
like I ran a Segway stand.
Right, and he was taking it over. And then there is Gary and Nick and Vic.
And Vic, yep. We had such a good time. Me and Vic laughed that whole week. We just Vic had the best line because Vic's standing there with a shirt like that on and shorts and like
the
Dex,
sock.
like the Italian guy
Yeah,
Dex.
yeah.
And he goes, and I'm getting ready to go to costume. And I go, Vic, don't you got to go down and go to costume? He goes, this
I'm
is my
wearing
costume.
it.
He goes, some stretch. So we had so much fun though.
That's great.
And then you know what's great about that? That was the first and only part that I ever landed that I didn't have to audition for.
Isn't that great?
Kevin just called me and asked me to do it, and I'm so thankful to this day for that.
I love when people call me up and they say, and it's happened more than once. I'm so blessed. My friend-
Actually, in Jiggle the Handle with Chris Roach, that's coming out.
yeah.
That one too, they asked me to do, but it's nice when you don't have to audition.
Yeah, no. Omar Moore called me up and he said, I wrote something with you in mind, and I just got a call today. Shout out to Joe DeBarry and Ronaldo, that they thought of me for a movie. So I that's like great when you don't have to audition and they know your work and what you're capable of.
Yep.
There's nothing like that. All right, so let's move on.
Moving on.
2015, you did Red Oaks. You played a golf member, and that was with Paul Reiser.
That was really cool because I just had worked with Paul Reiser.
Oh my God, I love him. I freaking love him.
He's
from
so
Mad
sweet.
About You.
We did a stand-up show together for children with cancer, and then a few months later I did this with him.
Yeah.
And his acting, right? So I get this part. It's a brief little part. It's one scene in a show
it
on
was
Amazon
cute.
Prime.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Yes.
Season 2, I get no auditions for that show. I figured whatever. At the end of season 2. They call my agent. She calls me. She goes, I got great news.
Okay.
I go, what is it? She goes, they want to bring you back for like 5 episodes in season 3 and be the member of the clubhouse, and they're going to write scenes for you.
Great.
I go, oh my God, it's great.
Yeah.
And then they canceled the show. I never got to go to set or nothing.
Oh Lord, that has.
Isn't it the worst?
I have a yeah. That's happened to me.
That's showbiz.
All right, 2016, you did vinyl.
That was probably one of my favorite
And you played
roles.
Chick Bauer.
Chick Bauer on vinyl.
There you are. Look at you. First of all, between the wig and the
mustache
glasses and
and-
the stash. And then we have another closer shot of you.
And I'm wearing.
Look at you. I wouldn't recognize you if you were walking down the street.
You know what's funny? John Mulrooney was on a plane coming home from a cruise ship, and he watched the whole season on the plane because he had a long flight.
Really?
And he said he watched this episode
And didn't realize
and kept
it was you?
rewinding it because he goes, I don't know who that is, but I know who that is. And so then he finally thought, what an idiot I am. Let me just go to the credits. And he went to the credits, and then he calls me from the plane, and he goes, I just watched you in vinyl, bro. You were I didn't even know that was you.
That is great.
But it was 96 degrees that day, and the air conditioning was too loud in the warehouse we were using,
Yeah.
so they had to shut it off when we were filming for the
Yes,
sound.
yes.
I'm wearing corduroy pants,
Yes.
a leather vest,
Yes.
a flannel shirt,
Yep.
and that wig, soaked, just soaked all day long. But it was a great experience.
Same year, 2016, you did Orange is the New Black, and you played Bill the Boss.
Yeah, that one. Somebody actually cut that up, and I actually saw
There
it.
you are.
Somebody put it on TikTok on their page.
Did they?
Yeah, because it's the scene. I'm bawling out this kid.
Yes, you
and
are.
I'm firing him because he's a
was
millennial or whatever.
stealing,
He was
yeah.
stealing,
He
giving
was
away free
stealing,
ice cream
yeah.
to pretty girls.
$30.
$30 a day.
A day.
You know,
The nerve.
But somebody made a TikTok video out of that. So doesn't get me any fame.
All right.
but,
Well,
you know.
we don't have a picture for the next one, but Gender Bender.
Oh, I only have a small part in that. That's I played a nightclub guy.
Yeah, you played a comedian or something, right? Vincent, you played
No,
Vincent.
I played the guy
Vincent.
that owns the nightclub, and they come
so
in.
We don't have a pic of that one, but our friends are in that, right? Joey
Joey
Cole
Cole,
is
Chris
in that.
Roach.
Chris is in it.
A few other people that I forget their names
Yeah.
right now. I know what's his name is in it. The late great Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes, Gilbert Gottfried was in it too.
I think Kevin Downey Jr. is in it.
Yeah.
So there was quite a few people.
So there were a lot of laughs going on that set.
Well, not really. You know why? We filmed that at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I got there at like 2 in the morning, and I had to wait for them to finish, shooting the other scenes till I got in.
Yeah.
And so we wrapped about 6 in the morning, and my scene is really 3 minutes, maybe,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even.
It's
They
amazing,
want me to go through surveillance of who was at the club the night before, so I'm going through it with them.
Right.
So, but it's a funny movie.
And
yeah.
2017, you get the call. You don't have to audition for Kevin Can Wait.
Another one I got the call for.
And you played Dynamic Bob.
Dynamic Bob. Another great experience.
That was great.
Because Andy Frickman was the director, and he was the director on Mall Cop 2.
Yes.
So when I got to see him again, and I got to see everybody pretty much who was in this episode was in Mall Cop 2. And so, and the only sad part about this, the only thing I regret, not regret, but the only thing bad about that was Joe Starr and Chris Roach, who were on the show,
Yes.
weren't in that episode. So I didn't get to work with them that week. You know what I mean?
No, you throw the box to Kevin.
Kevin James,
Yes.
but Chris Roach, who was
Oh,
a regular,
Chris. Oh,
he
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah, yeah.
He wasn't in that episode. And
Oh,
Joe
yeah, you're
Starr,
right.
who
You're right.
played
He
Enzo at the
played the pizzeria.
he wasn't in that episode either.
right. You're
so,
right.
but we still had a great experience, and
And that was filmed over here, Grumman, right?
that was filmed at Grumman, and
Yeah.
and Andy was so nice that he actually, him and Kevin, they told me to ad-lib a couple lines, which they kept in.
Good.
And then they would always put me in, if there was a warehouse scene, even
Yes.
if I didn't have a
Yeah.
line, they go, put Chris in the back so he's in the scene. So they were really cool.
That's
so
nice.
It was really great.
2018, we have no picture for this either, for the last two, but 2018, you actually did Blacklist.
You know what's funny about that? I auditioned for a big part. I got the
You
small
got something
part.
else.
I got the small
You got
part.
the customer.
I
You
got the guy
something-
yelling in the diner one line, but you know what? And I swear, if you sneeze or yawn, you'll miss my scene. But I'll actually have people that'll text me and go,
But
"I'm watching
you-
Blacklist. I just
You
was that
see?
you?"
You
I go-
see?
I go, "Yeah, it was me."
It was you. And now you mentioned Chris Roach and 2022, obviously. Jiggle the Handle.
Jiggle the Handle is a production that Chris Roach and Joe Pomerico, and they wrote this story, and they've been working on it for a few
And
years.
you're playing Scott.
I'm playing Scott. I don't want to give away my character, but I will say in the episode, I'm like a homeless guy that hangs out in the back of the pizzeria that Chris Roach works at.
Okay.
And Guy Riches is a part of the production, and it's a great cast, and we're actually premiering it on
April.
April 1st, Theater 3, Port Jefferson. You can go to my website, or you can go to Facebook, my Facebook page, for the link. There's tickets on sale. There's going to be a little comedy show,
Nice.
and then they're going to show the full episode.
Nice.
So.
Really, really nice. A lot of fun, It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting, and we're hoping it gets sold.
People, if you want to know where Chris is performing, his website's www.chrismontylive.com. He's also on Facebook, Christopher Michael Monty. And what's your Insta?
Is Chris Monty Live is Instagram.
All right, Chris Monty Live.
And then I'm Chris Monty Live on TikTok as well. I do like one joke every day, like a street joke. Two guys
cool.
walk into a bar, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like a guy, I'll give you a quick joke. A guy is sitting with his doctor and he says, "Doc, I want to live forever." And the doctor goes, "Well, you're in very good health, but you're not going to live forever." He goes, "No, I really want to live forever. How can I live forever?" So the doctor thinks for a minute and goes, "Get married." He goes, "That'll make me live forever?" He goes, "No, that'll kill the desire." Jokes like that I tell on TikTok, so check me out.
Oh my God, that's great. That's so funny. That's good. That's good. That's good. You're a funny man. You're a funny man.
I'm trying.
You're trying. You're trying. All right, listen.
I feel like I'm in therapy right now. Like you're making notes. Like she's sitting there making notes. Like this guy is messed up.
I think we have to take we take my last third break, Bobby.
Let's go.
Huh?
Let's do it.
Let's
All right,
do
let's
it.
do it. We're taking my last break. More with Chris Monty when we come back. Don't go away, people.
Doc, who's the best comedian you know?
Teresa Farrell.
And who's the best actress you know?
Teresa Farrell.
And who's the best cast member in Bad Boys?
Teresa Farrell.
Who's got the best radio?
Teresa Farrell.
Doc, who's your favorite Jimmy?
Teresa Farrell.
Who are you loving right now?
Teresa Farrell.
All right, Doc, I love you too, baby.
Love you as always.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm really, really glad that you guys are here tonight with me. You know, Tea Time is also on Cablevision on every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Channel 20.
I'm DVRing it.
Yes, you could also find the show on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere podcasts can be heard. I'm doing my show now. It'll be 4 years here, total of 5 years in August.
Golf club.
Crazy.
Wow.
I've come a long way, baby. I'm still doing it. And having on great, talented guests like yourself.
Except this week.
No, it's so not true. Stop. Don't listen to him. So listen, it is the month of love, you know.
I didn't wear I got my heart.
You have your
I got
heart,
my heart on.
You have your heart on.
I would've worn my red
But I
shirt.
want to know, you found love, and you got married a little later in life.
Got married late.
And how did you meet her?
My wife, you know what's so funny?
Kristen.
My
right?
wife, Kristen. It had to be fate because,
Of course it is.
you know what it was? I was performing it was a Friday night at Governor's in Levittown.
Which you've done many, many times.
But here's the thing. I was supposed to be somewhere else that night, and the gig got canceled.
Really?
So on Monday of that week, I called the club, like I usually do, and say, hey, I'm around Friday. I lost the gig. If you want me to MC, feature, whatever, I'd rather come out and do a set than sit home.
Sure.
So I'll work. So they go, hold on a second. They looked at the thing, and they said, Kevin Downey Jr. is headlining on Friday, but do you want a middle, be the feature actor?
Yeah.
I said, that's great. He's my buddy,
Yeah.
So I go down there. I do my show, and then afterwards, my wife was there with her sister and their best friend that they grew up with.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they came up to me, started talking, blah, blah, blah. And so they were pushing my wife. They were like, give him your number, and I could tell she was very uncomfortable. So I said, here's my card. It's got my number, my email, my Facebook, everything you need to know.
Right.
If you want to go get a drink one night, you hang out, get in touch with me.
That's nice.
So you don't got to worry about me calling you.
Right, right.
3 months go by. Oh, that's nothing, right? So I was on this dating website at the time.
Okay.
My wife was on a dating website, the same one.
Yeah.
So I'm scrolling through, and that's so funny. That's how you get when you get older. It was like, you got to live within 10 miles of me, or I'm not, Because I dated this girl from Staten Island, and I'm like, I'm not paying $16 to come see you anymore.
Toll.
Yeah. At the time I lived in Forest Hills, Queens, and she lived in Belrose, Queens, and I'm
Okay.
going through,
All right.
and all of a sudden I see her picture,
Right.
and I message her and I go, hey. We met at Governor's. You're like, I didn't know you were on here. And
Right.
she's like, hey, I'm so sorry I never called you, but my aunt was sick. I was taking care of my aunt every night in Brooklyn. And I
happens.
got free time now if you want to go. And so we went. We met near her. I said, I'll come near you because
Right.
I know the area. I grew up
Right.
there.
Yeah.
I came over there. We had a drink.
So you went for coffee?
We went for cocktails.
Okay.
My wife's 100% German, so they can knock them back.
Okay.
So we went to a bar, and we went to an Irish bar with a German girl in Floral Park, and we
With an Italian
a
guy.
7 o'clock date. We were there till 1 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday night.
That's a nice date.
And it was night. And then I dropped her off. She got to a car. I walked her to a car. And then we would meet once a week. And then before you know, we're dating. And that was it.
And how long are you married now?
We're married 6 years in July. But
6 years in July.
5 years right now, 5.5 years.
And 2 kids.
And 2 kids.
And congratulations, you just had your second baby girl.
I got I got 2 girls. That's how God gets you, If you break a heart or 2 in life, God goes, there you go, idiot, daughters. There you go. So I got 2 beautiful daughters.
Yes.
I got Olivia Rose and Emily Grace. Hi, Olivia.
Pretty,
Saturday morning. I hope you're watching Daddy.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, because she'll watch.
She's going to be so excited to see you on TV.
And she's a little performer herself.
Is she?
Oh, she puts on shows for us every night.
Really?
I already sit there go, oh my God. But I'll encourage her if she wants to be in show
sure.
business,
Yeah, yeah.
So, but
Oh, that's sweet.
She
That's
sings.
sweet. All right, so now 2 and...
That's it. Finit.
Okay.
No more. I'm too
All
old.
right, okay.
I
know you're going to work a long time.
I'm gonna get a
now.
man dog now, so I can have another man in the house. It's 3 women.
They're taking over.
Oh, they've taken over.
You're in trouble. You're
I
really
am,
in
and
trouble.
I do all the cooking and cleaning.
Do you really?
Well, not the cleaning. We share that, but I do all the cooking.
All right.
Yeah.
And you decorated the house for Valentine's?
My wife makes us decorate for every holiday, so next will be.
But I'm the same way.
Yeah, we'll do a St. Patrick's Day. We'll do an Easter. We'll do just everyone.
Yeah.
She likes to have it looking nice, so I got to go down the ladder and change the light bulbs.
It is
and,
nice.
So right now we got hearts in the windows and
Nice.
red lights across the gutter and.
See, I don't have the lights, but I have the hearts.
Yeah, lights. She buys all these things for the window, so it's pretty. It's nice. And we'll have a nice little Valentine's meal. We always have tradition. I'll make nice fresh lobster. I'll steam some lobsters for us. Potato croquets, a little spinach, little clams on a half shell. Nice bottle of prosecco. But this will be all my girls.
mouth is watering.
It'll be all my girls though. So I'll make something for the girls.
That's
My
nice.
one just eating the bottle still. We'll put on a little Jerry Vale, a little Sinatra, a little Nat
Nice.
King Cole, and we'll just relax
That's sweet.
on Valentine's, and that's
Very
it.
nice.
I hate Valentine's Day.
Do you really?
Yeah, it was invented by women for men that screwed up at Christmas. Did you know that?
Is that it?
It's the truth.
To redeem themselves?
Yeah. What? Do you ever buy your husband a Valentine's Day gift? He gets you flowers and candy, probably.
We don't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
We're married 15 years. We're past that.
She likes the chocolates, my wife. So I give her chocolates and I'll get her flowers.
Just give me a couple of Hershey Kisses.
Yeah, she likes the one, the box, the Russell Stover box,
Oh, that's nice.
whatever.
I like Dove.
Whatever,
I'm
Dove?
Dove.
I'll ask her what she
chocolate
wants
myself.
this year.
But that's good.
It's like $30 for those big boxes of chocolate.
Really?
Yeah, at CVS, but I use her coupons, and she gets pissed at me. She goes, "Did you use my 30% off on this damn candy?" I'm like, "Hey, I wasn't going to pay $40 for candy."
So listen, so your next show is this month.
My next show, I'm going to be working this weekend in Springfield, New Jersey at the Comedy Cove.
Jersey.
But I really want to, because this is Strong Island
It's
TV.
Strong Island.
I really want to promote February 19th at the Giggle Room. I'm going to be in the Giggle Room. So when you go into Governor's Levittown, they got the big main room. But
Yeah, the
before
big
you walk,
main room.
you make a right. And you go into the little intimate room, I call it.
Yeah, it seats 90 people, and it is it used to seat 65. Now it seats 90.
Seats
but
90.
It is nice because it is intimate.
It's
I
intimate.
Like
It reminds me of a city club.
Yes.
And I tell you right now, the show we're doing is going to sell out. Erwin Loring's coming in from Maryland, my good friend. He's going to be on Hershey and the Keys with me Tuesday night, tomorrow night,
Okay.
February 7th.
Okay.
And Mark Hirschman and Mike Keegan are going to be on the show. There'll be
Nice.
4 of us. Nice little show, 7 o'clock. Monday's a holiday, the 20th, President's Day.
Yeah, you're right.
So come out
That
February
means your
19th.
wife's off from work.
My wife's coming to the show.
How much do you love
Govs.com.
the summers?
Summers are long. Summers never used to be long. Summers used to be quick.
When
Now
she's
they
off-
stick around
when
forever.
she's off from work.
Every day.
But
She's-
God bless the teachers.
No, God bless the
them.
teachers.
Really.
And
She's been teaching a long time?
she's only been teaching. She was a therapist. She teaches special needs.
Okay.
So she was a therapist
God
for
bless.
special needs. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's an angel. And then she's probably been teaching like 5 years now. She right before we got married, she got the teaching job.
Nice.
But she was doing therapy, so when we met, it was great because I'm a comic. I sleep in. She didn't have to work until 3, 4 o'clock when kids came home from school.
Right.
So she could sleep in.
Yeah.
So every night of the week, we'd hang out until 1, 2 in the morning, you know? Now we get married, she gets this job, and at 9:30, she's like, I gotta go to bed. I'm like, going to bed? Like, I'm just getting ready to pour a drink.
Right,
She's like, no, I gotta get up at
yeah.
6:30. I
Yeah.
can't do that anymore.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
But in the summer, she's an alcoholic. No, I'm just kidding.
So I know you kind of like stay a little local now because of the girls, the kids.
Right now, yeah. Usually I'm in Florida in January,
Yeah, I was going to
February.
say in the winter.
So
you
now I'm
go
working like
down.
Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut on the weekends.
Try to stay in the
Governors
area.
when I can.
Yeah.
Just because, daycare's so expensive. And my baby's 3 months. I don't want to put her with anybody unless it's family. Like my in-laws and my father.
Yeah.
But so it's nice to be home and get this.
And God bless your dad.
My dad comes over and has, what my dad does? He comes over and has coffee with me. Monday and Tuesday and Friday, I take my Olivia, my 3-year-old, she goes to pre-K 3. So I got to drop her off. It's only 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
But you know how crazy the weather is now? I don't want to put the baby, have to bundle her up and put the infant in the car. So I said to my dad, can you come over in the morning, 8:45, 8:30, sit with me just till I come back from the school,
Right, right.
And he has a cup of coffee with me.
Yeah.
He stays till 11
That's
o'clock.
nice.
It's nice. And he gets to be with his granddaughters.
Nice. Does he ever come out and see you at a show?
Oh, yeah, whenever he can. Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves coming out to
Is he
shows.
near you?
He's in Elmont still.
Oh, he is.
He's in Elmont still.
Okay.
So yeah, he's right there, and we're in. I almost said the address, but we're in one town over. I don't know what people showing up at my house.
You're just on the cusp of Nassau County.
Yeah, we're just on the cusp. So we're right there.
Got those
5 minutes
Nassau
away.
taxes now.
Oh my God, you ain't kidding. It's ridiculous. If we bought a house 3 blocks away, it would have been like $6,000 a year for taxes.
Yeah.
But the houses needed so much work.
That's
At
the
least
whole
I'm in a
thing.
good town
That's
now. The
whole
house is
thing.
nicer. People
Yeah.
are nice.
It's
I love my neighbors.
location.
And I got great neighbors.
location.
All my neighbors are wonderful. We get along so nice, and it's
That's
nice.
nice.
We like where we
That's
are.
great.
It's Mayberry where we live.
It's nice.
There's
I love
parades.
my neighbors too.
Yeah.
I love
it's
my
wonderful.
neighbors too. I it's different. I grew up in Bayside. It's very
Bayside's still
different.
good. We look for a house in Bayside.
Bayside's wonderful, but you can't touch anything less than $1 million.
They wanted like $750,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. We were like, are you nuts? For a condo.
Yeah.
I said, my wife's like, we need a backyard. We have children.
No, it's
so.
crazy. But you have a lot of great upcoming shows.
A lot of great
Again,
upcoming
go
shows.
to his website.
ChrisMontyLive.com.
Yes, you're going to be at the Hamlet.
I'm going to be at the Hamlet. That's like a private kind of thing.
That's my cousin lives there.
Do you know Randy?
I have to tell my cousin to go see
Go to
him
that
there.
show. It's in the clubhouse.
Yes.
Yeah. I did it a couple years ago.
You're doing it at his clubhouse?
I think I did it in 2019.
You're also doing, wait, where else are you going to be? Oh, Bay Club. Hello, in Bayside.
That's my good friend Darcy Novick. Darcy Novick is books that show there every year.
Yes.
Shout out to Darcy. She's in Florida right now, snowbirding.
I know. Good for her.
That's going to be in the spring, I think. So.
Yeah.
And that's good. I love shows that are 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
you
Isn't
know?
that great?
You can sleep in your own bed.
I know.
So nice. I was in
know.
Pittsburgh last week, and then the Poconos a week. It's just like so much driving,
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, I know we have to wrap up, and I want to thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for the
Oh,
heart.
Come back anytime you want.
Yes, I'll come back. Definitely. Oh, drop my heart.
Chocolate. All right, listen, everybody. I'm so glad you tuned in. Again, ChrisMontyLive.com. If you can, go see him live. Go to one of his shows.
February 19th, Governors, Giggle
Yes,
Room. Be
Giggle
there.
Room. Be there. And March 4th and the 11th, I'll be there.
Yes.
So listen, thank you everyone for watching. Have a safe week. Have a great week. Tell everyone you love them. And I'll see you next week. Ciao, everybody.
Ciao.